Oh, hi Mina, Oriwa Trat near desk, and welcome to Trat's Reviews. Today, I'm going to be doing my review on the second generation of Genshiken, or otherwise known as Genshiken Second Season. If you have not seen my review of the first generation, or the first season, then go check out my other review that I did for that one. So as some of you are aware of, this has been actually sitting on the back burner for quite a while. It's just that other things distracted me, and oh well. But I finally have a chance to get back to taking care of my promise from a while ago. So in Genshiken's first season, you kind of follow what it's like to be an otaku male. In the second season, you follow what it's like to be an otaku female-ish. The main female that you saw in the front for the opening is kind of focused more on than the others. But the topics that are covered are cosplaying, mangaka, doujinshi stuff, and then cross-dressing. Yeah, cross-dressing. Considering how much I enjoyed the first season, I'm gonna have to say I enjoyed the second season maybe possibly a tad more than the first, but the reason why is because of the references that they had in the second season were references that I recognized more often than not than stuff from the first season. Something else that was really impressive for me was that some of the references were almost live, or at least that's what it felt like to me, because there were references to series that were ongoing at the time when Genshiken Second Season was airing, and it really made me feel like, well, other than the fact that it's giving nods to other series that were happening at the time, like Attack on Titan, there were also a lot of nods to other series that I enjoyed greatly, like the Bake Nisei Neko Monogatari series. So I guess for that reason is why I enjoyed the second season more than the first, is because there were more references I recognized. But yeah, that's a thing. Something I was a tad put off by was the amount of yaoi. Now, there wasn't actual yaoi, but there are many references to it, and that's kind of and the reason why is because of the fact that it's focusing more on female otaku, because yaoi is a thing more popular among females than guys. For those of you who don't know what yaoi is, yaoi is basically homosexuality in anime and manga. Now, granted, Japan approaches it from slightly different angles, and it's not just being gay. If you've seen enough of it, or if you've read enough of it, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, my apologies. I guess look it up. Can I even say that? Ugh. Okay, yaoi is gay stuff, but it's not what you think it is. And I guess the main reason for that is because of the fact that the anime and manga is fictitious in nature, and so it's not the same as actual homosexuality. That's what I'll have to use. Otherwise, it's gonna start sounding really weird that I'm trying to kind of defend a genre that doesn't really need to be defended. But yeah, so there's a lot of yaoi. By the time I finished, like, before I watched second gen, I was kind of leery of yaoi. But after second gen, I can now sit there and just go, yep, I know what this stuff is. Continue. I don't know if that says anything about me or not, but as a warning, there is a lot of yaoi. Apparently there was some censoring going on, which I don't remember. No, I don't recall censoring, but if you get the DVD version, there's extra stuff apparently in the DVD than there was in the actual showing of it. Now that I think about it, there's probably a few things that come to mind that might have ended up being censored, which would be very interesting, I guess. But basically, boobs and crotch blurring or straight up removal is what I imagine there being. So the cast from the first season show up from time to time in the second season. But for the most part, you're relatively focused on mostly new characters. Of the previous cast, I mean, like, the entirety of the previous cast does show up in the second generation, which is going to be my nickname for it because of reasons you'll understand if you go watch the first video like I asked you to. But if you've seen, most of the characters do show up, but there's only about 2 or 3 of them who get more screen time than the others. Something else that was really good about the second gen was that it kind of resolved the issue, some of the romance issues that were not fully tied up at the end of the first generation of Genshiken. So, 2 favorite things I like to see, character development and the ending. There was character development, which happens mostly in part for the cross-dresser, but the rest of the party does also kind of develop to a certain degree, which was nice. The ending also was nice. Like I said, it took care of the most of the relational ties that had yet to be taken care of, and then also leaves itself open for a third season / generation if they want to do that, but at the same time doesn't like scream, hey, guess what, there's another season coming, because stuff like that really pisses me off. So I'm happy that it didn't decide to go the overly obvious route, but if Production IG decides to pick it up again, then they could do it. I'd be a tad cautious approaching it, but it's definitely an option on the table. I guess it's entirely up to how the sales go. So yeah, if I were to give it a score, I would give it probably a 6, because I did enjoy it, but at the same time I can see how a lot of people would be put off by it. It's still a fun series, just like it was back originally, but there's definitely different things, because of the fact that you're focusing on the females than rather just guy otakus, which would definitely put people off, like the yaoi and the gender bender stuff. So, if you enjoyed the first season of Genshiken, you're happily going to enjoy the second season, for sure. As long as you have been keeping up with the more popular animes of late, you'll catch pretty much all the references. And if you don't like yaoi, then I'm going to have to give you a warning that it will show up in pretty much every episode. So you have been warned. So that was my review. For once again, it's available on Crunchyroll. I'll leave it in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have something you want me to review, then please stick it in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, Jana.